gonna go 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off, and if you're just starting out, do 20 seconds and 10 seconds rest. So this is my timer that I'll be following. So 30 seconds, we're gonna start with a squat. So you're sitting down through the heels, push your butt back, core tight. Think of pushing up through the full foot. All the way down, all the way up. If there's pain with this, obviously don't do it. We're doing something wrong. You want to think of pushing your butt back and down like you're sitting into a chair. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way down. Okay, from there I'm going to advance it a little bit. We're going to go into a split squat. One foot's forward, your back slightly out with the back foot. The farther out you go, the easier it is for balance. We're going to go straight down. You can tap that knee down if you want. You're squeezing that front glute, coming up. Down and up. Inhale, exhale. You should feel that quad, glutes. Your legs will get fatigued after 30 seconds of doing this. Instead of doing 8 of the same exercises, I'm changing it up. I have to do the other side. Obviously, you want to balance out. So we're going to do that other leg. Down and up. Again, the farther out that foot is, the easier it is for balance. If the squat, the very first exercise, is challenging enough, I would stick with that throughout the 8 exercises, or 8 rounds. This is not comfortable going all the way down to the floor, you can do a partial. From there, we go to a reverse lunge. So again, wait for the timer. We're going to step back, down, push through that front heel, squeeze the glute, come, or full foot. It's easier to say heel because everyone gets that. Inhale when you go back, exhale when you come up. This does have balance in it, balance component. Make sure you take your time. Full range of motion if you can. Again, if there's pain, obviously don't do it. Then we switch sides to balance out. So this one, a little bit more challenging. We're going to step, pretty good size step forward, straight down, squeeze that glute, come up. Side, step, straight down, squeeze that glute, come up. Make sure you're breathing. If your steps are getting too short, you can't lunge pretty much. It's going to be really hard. Take a bigger step, get your balance, straight down and up. And then from there, you're going to do a curtsy lunge. So feet shoulder width. You're going to step back and across. So just like a curtsy. Make sure you're breathing. That leg is coming across and back of that front leg. Make sure you're breathing. So this is exercise number 2. We'll go through 5 of them, variations for our Tabata segment. 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off. We are going to lie on our abdomen. This is a prone W retraction. So come all the way down to the ground. Arms are out like a W. 30 seconds on, 10 off. And go. We're going to raise up, inch the shoulder blades down and back. Hold it for about 5 seconds, bring it down. If you can go longer, hold it the full 30. We're working on retraction. This is straining through the neck. Relax your head down. Until shoulder blades down. Next, we're going to go to a renegade roll hold. So you can do this from the ground. You can do it from a bench. If you're in a semi-truck over the road, do it from the steps going into the semi. So you're in a plank hold. 1, 2, bring it down. Hold 1, 2, bring it down. Try not to shift your weight. Bring your neutral. Core is tight. Holding 1, 2. So from a bench position, what it'll look like is you're here. 1, 2, and then down. 1, 2, and down. And that was our timer. We're going to do a one-arm row. I'm using a water jug. I know the semi-steps are a little bit higher. You can put a towel down on the truck steps there that are a little bit harder than what a bench would be. But we're going to do a one-arm exhale when you come up, inhale when you come down, lock those shoulder blades down and back. And then we're going to switch. Same thing on that other side. So don't hike your shoulders, don't wear them for your earrings, pull them down. Think of your rib cage to your hip bone. Doing a one-arm row up. Make sure you're breathing. Makes it way harder when you don't. Wait for that timer. Okay, I'm going to start the timer. Just slide here, pinch your shoulder blades down a bit. The reason I'm using this and not weights is if you're working over the road, it's a lot harder to have weights in your vehicle. Make sure you're pinching your shoulder blades down and back. Exhale. This will become fatiguing if you do 8 rounds of just this reverse. I'm going to set that down. The next one, I'm going to replicate kind of what it would be if you were using a grab handle in a semi-truck. You're going to be here holding that handle that you step into your semi-truck with. This is going to be my handle. So I'm leaning back slightly. My other hand, you could hold on to your mirror or just guidance there, or you can use both hands on that grab handle. You're going to pinch your shoulder blades down and back. Okay. If you're doing this in a gym, obviously, the TRX you can use. You can have both hands here, or to make it harder, you can go single hand. So if, again, you're in a semi-truck, you want to use switch sides, you have to obviously go around to the other side of your semi-truck, doing a one-arm. Just make sure that your handle is not loose or anything, because you are putting your own body weight when you're coming up and down. And you're waiting for that 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off. Exercise number 3 is alternating heel tap, or we're going to progress into a dead bug is what it's called. So you're going to lie flat on your back. Key is keeping that back pressed into the floor. Arms right over your shoulders. And we're just going to alternate tapping the heel down. Make sure your back does not leave the floor at all. This is your starter. You're going to start from this exercise. If you can maintain that back staying down, then we will progress. If you can't, you're going to do your 8 rounds just like this. Okay, so from here, we're resting that 10 seconds. We're going to go opposites, move together. So you got to think about this, right hand, left leg. And I'm not going to go full extension. I'm going to make sure I can maintain my back staying in contact with the floor. Opposites move. Again, we're firing the full core. If your back raises up, we need to go back to that heel tap. Sure you're breathing. From there, if that gets easier, you can obviously progress farther down. Okay, so we're going to wait for that timer. We're progressing all the way down if you can, making sure that back stays in contact with the floor. This is going to be a lot harder than the other partial movement. You want to make sure your wrists stay over your shoulders, knees over your hips. This will get fatigued, especially doing 8 rounds if you can. Okay, from here, I'm going to make it more challenging. I'm going to use the stability ball. Obviously, if you're in a semi-truck, this is not doable there. You can just keep progressing from your other positions, I'm going to push the ball between the knees or thighs and the forearms, pushing against one another. So this is going to create tension through that core. Make sure your back does not leave the floor. You're still doing opposites. Opposites move. Make sure you're breathing. If your back starts raising, maybe we shouldn't go to this one yet. It is a very challenging exercise. From here, I know on a semi truck, you're not typically going to have weights, so again, I'm going to use a milk jug. A milk jug in each hand is obviously quite heavy to start out with. So you're going to go here, or water jug, whatever you have. Knees over the hips, wrists over the shoulders, and then we're going to extend. Bring it back up. Extend, bring it back up. Make sure you're breathing. You have access to weights. You are going to use weights. Start at a light weight. I know it seems funny using 5s, 3s, 8s. You gotta start at a light weight, because this will throw you off. Opposites move. So again, you would do 8 of whatever exercise level you are at. I just showed you 4 or 5 different variations. You pick your level. Make sure that back is staying down. If you let that back raise up, you're shutting off your core, you're defeating the purpose of even exercising this. This is exercise number 4. This is a lower body pulling exercise. I'm going to go through 3 different variations. You can take your pick on which one feels comfortable and that you can do with good form. And do 8 of them. 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off. Or if you're not at that level, 20 on, 10 off. So I'm going to start from a 4-point position. Make sure you're breathing. Exhale when you press back. Inhale when you bring that knee forward. Okay? From here, you can use, if you have a broom handle in your truck to sweep out your truck or whatever, you're going to use that. I have a PVC pipe. This is going to be hand behind the head. Other hand is going to be about low back, tailbone area, a little bit higher, right where your hip line is. Other hand's behind the head, feet shoulder width apart. You're going to think of if you had a belt on and someone's pulling your hips back, your butt's going to go straight back. You're going to get a good pull on the back side of your legs. So inhale when you go down, exhale when you come up. Inhale, exhale. Again, I started before that timer, or a little bit after. Keeps again, I know I started after. But you want 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off. So there's my 30-second timer. I'm going to do 30 more seconds. If you stick with this exercise, the next one you want to do is you're going to have the other hand behind the head. This hand's going to be lower. So you want to alternate. If you don't have that shoulder mobility, this might not be the right exercise to start with. You can personal message me and ask of a variation if you cannot hold this. If that one you are comfortable with, you are going to use, I'm going to use milk jugs, replicating weights. So hands are on the side of my thighs, feet are shoulder width. I'm going to inhale on the way down. I'm going to go about mid-shin, squeeze the glutes, squeeze your butt, stand up nice and tall. Inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up. Getting a good pull on the back of your legs. So this is, you will feel a good pull if you're doing the proper positioning in your back, in your core, and you're getting that hinge position. You do 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off with this one. This is exercise number 5. We are going to do a sideline tricep extension, or push, sorry. So I'm going to use my timer again. I'm going to lie on my side. If this hurts the hip bone, roll back to your glute a little bit more. So you're on your butt. Okay, the other arm is right by your side. This hand is going to come up about chest line, okay? I'm going to start the timer, 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off. Exhale, press up. Inhale, come back down. Shoulders, you want to think of retracting that top shoulder as you press up. You should feel this right in your tricep, right through here. Sure you're breathing. Exhale when you come up. Inhale when you come down. This you can do anywhere. Again, if you're feeling it too much in that hip bone, you can roll forward more. You're gonna get more of your triceps involved if you do that, or you can roll onto that glute. I'm gonna switch sides quick. Gotta stay balanced out. Again, lying on your side, other arm is by your side, hand is about mid-chest line as you're pressing down and up. So you can choose this exercise. It's gonna be our starter one for that 8 rounds, or I'll show you 2 other variations. Make sure you're breathing. Okay. The next one we're gonna do, this one's a little bit more advanced and quite a bit harder. You're gonna have your arms out in front of you. You're gonna go into that plank position and you're gonna push up to the palm of your hands. Come back down. My elbows are slightly, just slightly in front of my shoulders. I'm gonna press up, back down. Press up, back down. Starting to slip a little bit, but if you're using the floor of your semi-truck or wherever, just make sure it's not a slippery surface so you don't go face planting down. 8 rounds of that is going to be very challenging. So if that's too hard, I would go back to the other exercise. The next one, I'm going to use a milk jug again. You can use the steps of your semi-truck, or if you have a bench at home or something about a little bit lower than about knee height, I guess. You're going to retract the shoulders down and back. So pull your shoulders back, push your chest out. Elbow is going to stay driven back. You're going to press back, come forward. Exhale, press back. Inhale, come forward. So I'm working my triceps, back side of my arms. This is a 1-arm tricep kickback. That was my 10 seconds. And then I'm going to switch sides. So I'm just going to move to this side here. Use whatever that's about knee height or a little higher. Shoulder blades lock down and back. And press it straight back. Make sure you're breathing. Makes the exercises way harder if you core is tight. You're in that hinge position where your butt's pushed back slightly. Nice flat back. Chest is pushed out. Elbow is pulled back as you press back. Okay, exercise number 6 is going to be for that core. So we're going to lie down on our back. And then we'll start the pattern here in a second. We're going to do a reverse sit-up. So your arms are going to be by your side. Press that back in. Your feet are going to go up towards the ceiling. The main goal is, think of pulling your hips towards your chest. So you're going to come up and back down. When you come up, even if you only go that far, you're still going to get that core contracted. Okay? So think of keeping your legs more straight. You can bring the knees. Think of bringing your knees to your forehead. That's a good way to try to get those hips up. Again, if you can't move your hips that high, that is okay. This is a reverse sit-up. The higher you go, the harder it is. And then make sure that you come down nice and slow. You don't want to hit your tailbone against the floor hard. You want to keep that tension in that core as you come down. Make sure you're breathing. Again, you would do 8 rounds of this. 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off, or you can start with 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. The other exercise is a little bit harder. You're going to do the same type of movement, but you're doing a hip twist. So you're going to get more in that oblique area. So you're going to come up and twist the hips. When you come down, make sure that back isn't raising up. You want to press that back down, and then come up to that reverse sit-up. Make sure you're breathing. Exhale when you're bringing those feet up towards the ceiling, or knees towards your forehead. Exercise number 7 is a mountain climber. And then we're going to do a mountain climber twist just to make it a little bit harder. So 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off. You can use your steps on your semi-truck, put a towel down or something that has some sort of padding, as long as your steps are long enough. You can go to your elbows, or you can start with your hands, which is going to be a little bit easier. You're in a more upright position. I'm going to start that timer, and I'm just going to start with walking it up. Drive your knees up, your wrists right under your shoulders, shoulder blades locked down and back. You can try running it out if that's easy. Or you can make it more challenging, you can drop down to those elbows. You're a little bit lower to the ground. This is easy, you can always go to the ground in this one. Okay, to make it a little bit harder, we're going to add a twist in there. Some people call this the drunken mountain climber. My elbows are right under my shoulders. I'm rotating across. So this is going to be the harder variation of this one. You can always start here and work your way down. Okay, make sure you're breathing. You're rotating across. Or you can run it up. Make it harder. Down to those elbows. Make sure you're breathing. Exercise number 8, the last in the Tabata round, is going to be a crawl. Multiple variations. Basically, to start this out, you're going to go hands and knees. So knees under your hips, wrists under your shoulders. I'm going to attach this because I cannot crawl with it in my hand. So I'm going to start the timer. Opposites move. This looks very easy, but it is not. This is the easier version of it. Opposites move together. Think of baby steps with your hands and your knees. Okay. If you have a flatbed trailer, this would be the place that I would do that. Not the cleanest, but trucking over the road isn't. Opposites move. The next exercise we'll do is a 4-point elevated hold. So this is still part of a crawl. It's just one step up from where we were at. Wrists under the shoulders, knees under your hips. And you're going to hold that 4-point position. Your knees are about an inch or 2 off the ground. Wrists under the shoulders, knees under your hips, and you're just holding this position. If you can hold this to 30 seconds, we are going to progress from there. Your head is neutral with your spine. Shoulder blades locked down and back. Make sure you're breathing, don't hold your breath. From here, we are going to go into a forward crawl. So same position, knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. You're elevated this time. Baby steps with the feet, baby steps with the hands. Opposites move together. Instead of going forward, you could do one round of going forward for 30 seconds with 10 seconds off, or you can go backwards, which is even more challenging. When you do this, make sure your hips are not twisting. Opposites move. Lock those shoulder blades down the back. We're going to make it even more challenging from there. You are going to use a weight if you have a weight, or a water bottle. So 4-point position set up. You're raising up. I'm going to drag that weight forward. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to drag that weight again. 1, 2, 3, and then drag. 1, 2, 3, and drag. 1, 2, 3, and drag.